Okay, I'm going back to the top of page 79. With the candle glowing from his hat bill, the man bent forward. I declare, is that you, Jemmy? It is. Ain't you grown since you left the sewers? I'd be obliged if you'd snuff out your candle, sir. There's bloodthirsty ruffians after us. Speak up, said the old man, cupping a hand to his ear. Is it true you've got taken up by the king himself? That's the gossip. What are you doing back in the sewers? Running for our lives, eh? Your candle will give us away. What's that? You do us a kindness to pinch it out. Speak up, lad. Now, you're a king's little gentleman. They learn you to talk in whispers? Come back for a visit, have you? Oh, your pa'd be proud. He gave the top of Jemmy's head a pat. They say you're Prince Brat's own whipping boy. Suddenly the rat catcher straightened. Who's there? Looming up in the yellow glow stood an immense, hairy figure in a rattlebone man. Jimmy's heart stopped cold. What the blazes? Roared Hold Your Nose Billy. They flummoxed us, Cutwater. That one ain't the prince, it's the other. I heard, Cutwater cried out. We whipped the prince himself. Worse than common murder, you said? Aye, the king'll skin us alive by inches. Mercy on us, but not if he don't find out. Both lurched forward to grab the boys. Jimmy swung the birdcage, knocking the candle flying. The flames sputtered out into the murky water, and the sewer was thrown into sudden darkness. Run for it, Jimmy yelled out. I got one, cackled Cutwater. That's me you got, bellowed the rat catcher. Scurvy riffraff, who are you? Jimmy flattened himself against the wall and found the prince already there. He heard a splash and a curse as Hold Your Nose Billy must have tumbled over Cutwater and the rat catcher. In an urgent whisper, the prince asked, Which way? Jimmy made an instant decision. The villains might be able to run them down in this smaller side channel, back to the main sewer. He gave the prince's sleeve a quick tug, and the prince reached out for Jimmy's hand. Off they went, linked together, while the outlaws untangled themselves. Which way did they go? Cried out Cutwater. Listen for 'em. Jimmy froze. He didn't breathe. He waited, and he became suddenly aware of the prince's hand clasped in his own. His first impulse was to withdraw his fingers, but the prince was hanging on for dear life. It was the same as a handshake, and if he remembered the prince's own words, it felt friendly and trusting. But God, the wonder of it! Shaking hands with Prince Brat. Stop where you stand, warned Hold Your Nose Billy. Wherever you are, we'll catch you, added Cutwater. You'll never make it out. Which way is out? Snapped the big outlaw. The same way you came in, answered the rat catcher. Put your back to the breeze from the main sewer. That was wrong, good old Tosher, Jimmy thought. He meant to send them off in the opposite direction. Jimmy tugged on the prince's hand, and they scuttled along the wall toward freedom. A moment later, Jimmy could feel a stronger breeze, and he knew that they were in the main sewer again. Noses to the breeze, they could make a run for the river. But in his sudden elation, Jimmy banged into the wall with the birdcage. His hair rose. The clatter was loud enough to wake the dead or bring the villains running. Jimmy made an abrupt turn, pulling the prince deeper into the main sewer, and he whispered, They'll see us against daylight before we can get out. More holes than wormwood down here. We'll duck into another side tunnel. But if we break loose, don't lose your bearings. The brewery's dead ahead. The sound of feet sloshing through the water silenced them. Jimmy felt desperately for the mouth of a side tunnel, but Hold Your Nose Billy and Cutwater had already rushed out into the main sewer. Which way, Billy? Muttered Cutwater. Jimmy flattened himself against the grave cold wall, but the prince seemed suddenly to rebel at being chased down like a sewer rat. He yanked the birdcage out of Jimmy's hand and flung it with all his might. It banged and clattered off the bricks in the direction of the brewery. What's that? Cried out Cutwater. Them is what? Put your back to the breeze, straight on. They barged ahead. Only moments later, old Tosher appeared across the great sewer, a fresh candle lit on the bill of his cap. And then Hold Your Nose Billy and Cutwater came flying back. I'm bit, help! Grain-fed rats were swarming over the two of them, nipping and biting and clinging like leeches. In the light of the candle, Cutwater waved his arms wildly. He screeched, and the hairy outlaw bellowed. "I declare," said the prince, "they look like they're wearing fur coats."